Hey guys, I got another great guest coming on my show a week from tomorrow. So tomorrow is Monday, February 8th, I believe. So it'll be Monday, February 15th. Not tomorrow, the next Monday. It's a great guest. Looking forward to it. You guys are going to enjoy it. But before I tell you who it is, I just want to remind you, if you're buying or selling real estate, you need to go to realestateforlife.org. Remember, Real Estate for Life. When I first mentioned it, I kept saying Realtors for Life, and then I corrected it yesterday. And I had to put a little intro on my interview with Dr. Alan Keyes, and that's when I had mentioned it. And then, like, we did the interview at, like, I don't know, 11, I think it was like 11 o'clock in the morning. But for some reason, my internet was really slow, and I couldn't upload it to YouTube until, like, I don't know, I think it was like 8 o'clock. So by the time I did, I realized I said realestateforlife.org like 5 times, but then I said realestate.org. So I'm going to correct my correction again. And they tell me if I say something 6 times, I won't forget it, so I'm going to say it 6 times. realestateforlife.org, 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 realestateforlife.org. And I would recommend calling a realtor and move to Florida today. I just love it here. I grew up in Jersey, but I got to tell you, I love Florida living. I mean, went to Mass. My wife and I went to Mass today. It was such a beautiful day when we got out. I just put a t-shirt on, and we took a walk by the lake. Kids are playing in the park. People are swimming. People are bicycling. Everybody's happy. This is Florida living at its best. Then we're like, you know, we're going with my sons for Super Bowl party tonight. What do you want to do in between? And we're like, hey, let's check out that new Liam Neeson movie. So we'll go to the movie theater, have a nice time. And then we were going to go to a restaurant, indoors, air conditioned. Everything's air conditioned down here. But we ate so much popcorn and candy, neither one of us was hungry. But this is what it's like living in a free state in America. So if you're living in one of these communist states, you need to call Real Estate for Life and ask to speak to a realtor in Florida and ask them what it takes to move to Florida with the house pricing. I mean, it's peanuts compared to New York, California, New Jersey. Honestly, in New Jersey, it's very hard for a blue-collar guy to buy a house. And people say, oh, well, you make less money in Florida. So, like, when I moved here, I haven't checked recently, but I'm sure it's similar. When I moved here, the average house in New Jersey was 6 times the average salary in New Jersey. So even though the salaries were less in Florida, the average house in Florida was only 3 times the average salary. See what I'm saying? But when I got down here, I got into a union job where they had a national contract, so the Teamsters paid the same in Florida as they were in Jersey. So anyway, there's jobs you can get down here that pay well. If you're willing to work hard, there's great paying jobs. The economy is doing really well down here. We're not locked down. We're not shut down. My grandkid goes to a private Christian school. They didn't shut down once. And guess what? Nobody got COVID. Go figure. But anyway, back to my big announcement. I'm going to have Timothy Gordon on a week from tomorrow. And the way I met him was I was reading an article about a Catholic school teacher. This is going back quite a few months ago, who was fired. A Catholic was fired from a Catholic high school because he, I guess, tweeted that the Black Lives Matter organization, according to their website, is a Marxist organization. He was basically just quoting their website, and he was fired for that. And I thought that was horrible. And when I read about the guy, I'm like, wow, the guy, I think he has like 7 kids, and one of his kids just had a surgery, and I was like, this is not the Catholic thing to do. So I was kind of upset, and so I emailed him. I said, hey, you know, and you might laugh if you've been watching me recently. I said, hey, listen, I'm not real political on my channel. I try to stay with catechesis and apologetics. But I think what happened to you was unfair, and I really want you to come out and tell your story. And so that was really the first time I met him. He didn't even know my name. He just knew me as Blue Collar Catholic. So And I really enjoyed the conversation we had. And you know, when I tell my guests an hour, I really, you know, I'm like old school. I tell you an hour, I'm going to cut off as an hour. But it seemed like we were going to go over that hour because the conversation was going so well. And it was live stream, so I had people asking questions. And most were, you know, what was going on with him and Taylor, and he gave an honest answer. But then there was one that was a theological question. I remember it was about baptism. And he said, I'm not going to give you a quick, you know, Catholic answers apologetic question. You can get that, but I'm going to give you my best theological answer. And when he finished, me and my wife had the same reaction, even though she was in the other room watching it live. We're like, wow, that was a great explanation. This guy knows his theology. So I had emailed him after, and I said, man, I would love to have you back on just to talk theology. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be a questions and answers, a live stream. The first half, I'm going to ask questions that I have, and I've had some of my subscribers ask me some hard questions that I tried my best, but I'm going to pass them on to him and see if he can give you a better answer. But, you know, whenever I quote a saint, I always get comments, oh, he didn't say that. So from the best of my knowledge, this quote is from St. Augustine. And if he didn't say it, I apologize, but it's a great quote, so I'm going to say it anyway. In the essentials, there must be unity. In the non-essentials, liberty. And in all things, charity. So basically, in the essentials of the faith, the doctrines and the dogma of the faith, we cannot get, there has to be unity. Me and Timothy can't agree, or one of us isn't Catholic, okay? But in the non-essentials of the faith, maybe things the church has been practicing, but it's not a dogma or a doctrine, or maybe it's an idea what the church should be doing, we could disagree. But in charity, just an old word for love. So there was a couple things, you know, because like I said, when I first had him on, I really didn't know him, but I started watching some of his shows, and he's great, really smart guy. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. But there's a couple things that I disagreed with that he believes. It's not essentials of the faith. And I'm curious, and it's not going to be a debate. I'm not going to, you know, there's a time when you should debate. So if someone tells me Jesus is not God, I'm going to debate you, and I'm going to use my best apologetic skills to argue that. If someone tells me Constantine started the church, I'm going to debate that, and I'm going to use my apologetic skills and my history knowledge, and I'm going to debate you. But this I really want to learn, because he may have a good, I'm sure he has a good reason why, and he may be able to convince me on live stream why my opinion is wrong. And again, this is not a doctrine, a dogma. This is just something within the Catholic Church that we agree on the problem, but we disagree on the solution right now. But he may convince me otherwise. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he has to say, why. And I notice a lot of conservative Catholics that I agree with on so many things agree with him on these two topics. And I don't understand why, because, you know, I've only been back to the Catholic Church 5 years, and I know the Bible very well, but the sacred tradition, I'm still learning. I have a catechist, Catholic catechism book I read, and I'm still learning. There's so much, 2,000 years of church history and church tradition, so there's a lot I don't know. So I'm sure he'll enlighten me why he has the view that he has. So check it out. It's going to be very interesting. And like I said, this guy's a really smart guy, and I'm going to pick his brain. And if you got any questions, you could start sending them to me. You know, put some in the comments here, or wait for the live stream, and I'm going to have Nick, my son, read them to me. And I think it's going to be a fun night. So check it out. Not this Monday, next Monday. Timothy Gordon returns. God bless. Stay Catholic.